Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to News Dose. And PlayStation has found themselves in a bit of hot water after a recent decision to change how Helldivers 2 is played on PC. A lot of gamers are left frustrated by this, and I think people have the right to be. Some people are acting like this isn't a big deal, and other people are just simply overreacting to it. And while maybe there's some truth to that, I'm the type of person that likes to look at the whole picture, and there is a couple fundamental problems in what PlayStation is currently doing. And this does majorly impact certain players to the extent that you have to kind of wonder if this is even legal. So we're going to talk about all of that today, and then also a couple of leaks for some different iconic franchises. Do make sure to stay tuned for all of that. But before we get started, do make sure to hit that subscribe button if you like this type of content. I'm here every Monday through Friday with these daily gaming news updates, and the best way to get that content to you is by hitting those buttons below. That way, as soon as I post a new video, it'll be delivered directly to your device. With that said, though, let's just go and get right to our first story of the day, and this one's actually rather amusing. So to end the video yesterday, I mentioned that Pyoro posted some kind of cryptic Nintendo tweet with a picture of the Nintendo World Championship 1990 cartridge. I wasn't even about ready to try to crack the code for that because I had no idea what they were trying to tease. Well, apparently, it was actually nothing more than exactly what they posted. Today, a new ESRB rating for Nintendo World Championship NES Edition popped up online. So there you go, mystery solved. And I think this is actually hilarious just because people were honestly going crazy over this image yesterday. There were so many conspiracy theories floating around thinking this was some kind of Switch 2 leak, which truthfully, I can't really blame anybody for that. Even I thought it could have been related to the Nintendo Switch 2. I didn't exactly know how, but you never really know when it comes to Pyoro. They like to post cryptic tweets, but I guess this was one of those instances where I think Pyoro just kind of took those expectations as an opportunity to pretty much troll everybody. They knew exactly what was going to happen with that image showing SW1 through SW4. But here we are, and apparently Pyoro fooled everybody. My hat's off to them. Now, moving on, though, we are moving into the gamers' holiday, the E3 season, the Summer Game Fest, whatever you want to call it. But over the next few months, we're going to see a lot of different showcases. And we can now add THQ Nordic to that list as well. This is a little bit further out, so I'm a little surprised they announced it this early. But THQ Nordic has an event set for August 2nd. Apparently, the Gothic 1 remake and Titan Quest 2 will both be there, which that's pretty cool to see. Both of those are rather interesting, and even though they're not saying what else will be there, I think there's a pretty good chance that Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 will also make an appearance. Supposedly, it's planned to release sometime in 2024. We don't have an exact release date just yet, and that's probably their biggest game this year unless they have something else up their sleeve. Right now, though, if I were to make an early prediction, I think we'll get a more in-depth gameplay reveal and a release date for Deliverance 2, which, hey, that alone might make this event worth it for a number of people. Overall, though, THQ Nordic has a lot of studios under their umbrella, so we could get several surprises. Okay, so let's go talk about this PlayStation situation, because this is a situation. A very sticky situation, I might add, because they're dealing with a completely different fan base than what they're usually used to. They're not just dealing with their consoles here, but instead they're dealing with, people who have no affinity with the PlayStation brand, the PC community. And right now they are furious over the latest change to Helldivers 2. And I'm not exaggerating here either. You can clearly see on Steam that user reviews have suddenly taken a nosedive since this announcement. Helldivers 2 currently has a 76% overall approval rate as of this recording, but its recent reviews is down to 54%, and that seems to be declining by the hour. So you might ask, well, Jay Wood, what's going on here? What's the problem? Well, this might not necessarily seem like a big deal for everybody, but bear with me because there is a reason for some of the pushback that we're seeing. So what's happening is that they just announced that from this point forward, PSN will be required to play Helldivers 2 on PC. You can see their full statement here, which reads, "Attention Helldivers, due to technical issues at the launch of Helldivers 2, we allowed the linking requirements for Steam accounts to a PlayStation Network account to be temporarily optional. That grace period will now expire. See details below in this post. Account linking plays a critical role in protecting our players and upholding the values of safety and security provided on PlayStation and PlayStation Studios games. This is our main way to protect players from griefing and abuse by enabling the banning of players that engage in that type of behavior. It also allows those players that have been banned the right to appeal. As such, as of May 6, all new Helldivers 2 players on Steam will be required to connect their Steam account to a PlayStation Network account. Current players on Steam will start to see the mandatory login from May 30th and will be required to have linked a Steam and PlayStation Network account by June 4th. PlayStation Network accounts are free and easy to set up using this link. And do keep in mind that this is free. They're not making you pay for PlayStation Plus, so do keep that in mind. Continuing on, though, they say that we understand that while this may be an inconvenience to some of you, this step will help us continue to build a community that you are all proud to be a part of. Many thanks for your continued support of Helldivers 2. Now, I think for most people, this won't be a major issue. It might be a slight nuisance just because not everybody wants a PSN account, and I completely understand that. For people who only plays on Steam, they just want to use their Steam account and nothing else. They don't want to be bothered by having to sign up for something else. The Steam user base has never really liked when companies force them to sign up for something else to play their games, but it is something that they've become accustomed to over the years. So I don't really think that that in its own is a deal breaker. Again, maybe a nuisance, but not really a big problem. The bigger problem here is that PSN is not available in every country. You can see here that somebody actually made this map which shows where PSN is and isn't available. And you'll notice that a lot of places don't have PSN support, which means that Helldivers 2 was previously being sold in various countries where they can't get PSN. And there lies the problem. China, as one such example, will no longer be able to play the game that they've already purchased. Now, maybe they can use a VPN to sign up for PSN. A lot of people have, suggested that, and then they can kind of play it that way. But that right now seems to be a little risky based on this tweet from Helldivers 2 Media. They claim that a Chinese player got banned after trying to link his Steam account to PSN using a VPN. So some people can act like this isn't a big deal. But right now, with how it works, it absolutely is. When you have people who can't play the game that they purchased, that's a problem. And that's why this story deserves more attention. It deserves more attention, maybe not necessarily for you specifically. Maybe you weren't impacted by this change. But something that I understand is that not everything is about me. So this is why I think this topic needs more attention, because it needs attention for the people that it does affect. There needs to be pushback against this so Sony hears about it, and hopefully then they'll address the problem. I mean, I've already seen some people come out and defend PlayStation for this, and they're kind of acting like the review bombing for this game is scummy or something like that. But as a consumer, sometimes that's really all that you can do. All you can do is use your voice in the hopes that these companies will hear you, and then maybe, just maybe, they'll address the core problem that people are bringing to their attention. In fact, the CEO of Arrowhead responded to the review bomb and said, "Ouch," right in the review score. Well, I guess it was warranted. Sorry everyone for how this all transpired. I hope we will make it up and regain the trust by providing a continued great game experience. I just want to make great games. And to be fair here, this is not on Arrowhead. Let's make that clear here. They've done an excellent job with Helldivers 2, and they deserve every ounce of success that they've gotten. They've made a great game. This problem is on PlayStation because it's their service and it's their decision to make. So, I mean, this really is just a whole big mess right now, but hopefully, they'll listen to the backlash and get this fixed up, and we can all just kind of enjoy Helldivers 2 once again. Okay, so moving on here, though, we do have a couple big leaks to talk about for some rather significant franchises. The first of which is for Resident Evil 9. If you remember right, we talked about this game last week because there was a rumor by Dust Golem that it might have been internally delayed. Well, that same person has now walked back that statement and is now saying that I have good news / rumors to deliver on Resident Evil 9. The possible delay I had heard murmurs about can be pushed aside. Resident Evil 9 should be revealed pretty soon and release next year. If what I heard previously holds true, it should be in January. It'll have about 7 years in development. He also then clarified that January 2025 I hadn't heard now, just been a date I had heard previously they probably are still aiming for, but never know in-game development. I won't leak/rumor any other details of the game, just let Capcom do their thing and let them surprise people. So yeah, we're back on the Resident Evil 9 hype train once again with a possible 2025 release, an early 2025 release at that. I mean, who knows? We might even get a full-blown reveal as early as this month with the PlayStation Showcase inbound, which is exciting to think about. But one thing that a lot of people are pointing out is that 7 years of development for a Resident Evil game is quite a long time. Now, the reason for the extended development period, though, is because supposedly, based on some of the rumors that we've previously heard about, this is the biggest Resident Evil game ever made, and it will have some kind of an open world. Now, I don't really know how an open world will work in a Resident Evil title. I'm definitely not a person that believes everything should be set in an open world. So for me, I'm going to reserve my judgment until I actually see the game myself. I mean, at the same time, though, I have an open mind to things, so I'll be curious to see how they handle a transition like this. As a big fan of Resident Evil, I'm hoping for the best, and I really hope that extra development time makes this transition great. Now, that's not the only franchise supposedly making the move over to an open world, though. Allegedly, Tomb Raider will also make the shift as well. This leak is from vScooper, which apparently has a history of scoops according to Insider Gaming, and this person said that the next Tomb Raider game will be fully open world and set in India, featuring vast sceneries, free use of motorcycle, parachute, and common Laura's traversal methods to unrestrictedly navigate across a big map and its challenges. Now again, just like what I said with Resident Evil, I don't really look at this as good news or bad news. For me personally, I just need to see it for myself, and then I'll judge whether or not I like the idea. I'm a firm believer that not every game needs an open world. So to me, if this is actually true, and that's still an if right now, it's just currently a rumor, but if it is, well then they need to kind of prove why we needed this transition, prove why it's a good idea. I mean, I'll use Uncharted here as an example. You all know I love the Uncharted series. The first 4 games were completely linear, but then there was Lost Legacy, which was set in more of an open environment, and I don't really think that it was as good as the first 4 games. I mean, I still enjoyed it, but I don't really think that they did anything exceptional in that game that made me think, yeah, this is the direction that I want the Uncharted series to be in. Now, to be fair, the rebooted Tomb Raider trilogy is set in more of an open zone environment, so I don't think it's going to be quite as big of a shift, but still, I just kind of need to see all of this for myself, and then I'll kind of judge from there. Let me know what you all think about all of this, though. Do you like the idea of Tomb Raider being set in a fully open world? And for that matter, let me know what you think about the Resident Evil series. Do you like the idea of that series being set in a completely open world? Let me hear it in the comments below. Anyways, though, that's going to be it for this episode, but do let me hear your thoughts about the Helldivers situation. But until next time, peace out.